Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for the fourth and final part of the Q&A, so let me get on my hat, and let's knock this out. Alright, first question. I was rear-ended a few weeks ago. Neck and back were in a bit of pain, but I recovered and was cleared to go back to the gym. Upon returning, I found that my deadlift remained just as strong, and in fact went up a little. How can we explain this phenomenon? My diet remained restricted due to the body composition goals, so my body weight remained stable while I was bedridden. Any thoughts? All right, brother, here's very well what could have happened. You might have been overreaching slightly on your deadlift, and once you were rear-ended and spent that time recovering because you had to recover, your body during that healing process and recovery process while you were truly resting finally adapted, allowed your peripheral nervous system to recover, and allowed those muscles to grow. You essentially got like a deload at the end of some overreaching session. You've probably been pushing your deadlift a little too hard, and you finally adapted to it. The pro tip for you there, you probably want to deload a little more often on your deadlift if this is the case, if this helped you. And you know what, that's the thing. The deadlift is one of those exercises that as long as you're recovered and you're gaining strength everywhere, it will find your weaknesses. Deadlift strength tends to stay a long time as long as you aren't exceeding maximum recoverable volume. If your peripheral nervous system is fresh, deadlifts go up really easy. And case in point, when I came back to training here because I wasn't quite ready for a meet and I wanted to focus on my squat and other stuff more, I focused primarily on bench accessories, squatting, and rows, right? I quit deadlifting. I went 10 months without deadlifting. I had previously built back up to like a 525 deadlift, right? That took me only a year of lifting again after being really, really sick. I built up to that in less than a year. It took me like 9 months to get to 525. I didn't deadlift for like 10 months. I walked back in and deadlifted 515 the very first time I deadlifted after 10 months off. Only 10 pounds lost. But you know what? Because I had built all those muscles up, it took me exactly 3 sessions to get back up to pulling 540. 3 workout sessions. That's the thing with the deadlift. As long as all those muscles are strong and your nervous system is recovered, deadlift strength tends to remain. You can get strong on the deadlift without always training the deadlift, and that's the interesting thing about the exercise. You can also get strong on the deadlift without deadlifting heavy in a balanced, powerful program. If you've got other exercises in, you can come in and deadlift light. You can literally deadlift at 60% of your max and actually get better at the deadlift. It's just the nature of the exercise. It's one of those really funny exercises in the way that you can program around it, where you can focus on it or not focus on it, and it'll improve it. In your case, you finally just recovered from all your training loads. You've probably been pushing your deadlift a little too hard, and the end result is that you were always in a chronically almost overreach state. Like not chronically overreaching, but getting close. And therefore, when you finally recovered, it bounced back, and you got strong as fuck. All right, next question. Hi Jason, I feel my biceps fatigue before my lats on rows and chins, and my triceps tire first on the lat isolation exercises. I have tried such as straight arm pulldowns and dumbbell pullovers. Is there a more isolated movement I can try, or is this probably bad technique? Your clear factual info is a diamond in the sea of BS. We appreciate it. Thanks. All right, simply put, either one of two problems is going on. Either you have weak arms, in which case the compound movements will eventually catch them up, and they're the weak link right now. Your back is just stronger, and it could be stronger because you've maybe done stuff like deadlifts or whatever, and it's strengthened your lats up. And now that you're doing more of these other exercises, your arms are the weak link. They will eventually catch up in that case. The other possibility, you are exceeding the maximum recoverable volume for your triceps and your biceps, meaning whatever you're doing for arm work directly, maybe your various pressing, is all that your triceps can handle. Or particularly isolation movements, you're exceeding what they can recover from workout to workout. Same with your biceps. You're doing too much extra bicep work, and even if you haven't trained in a day or 2 days or 3 days or whatever it is, you're coming in and you're doing this back work, your biceps are not recovered from the bicep work that you've done for them whenever your last training session is. Because the biceps aren't recovered enough because they're getting too much work, they're the weak link in these other exercises. That's also your possibility. And if that's the case and you're struggling here, you need to back down the amount of direct arm work you're doing. It is causing you to limit your overall strength and development. You're exceeding your maximum recoverable volume from workout to workout, and your performance is suffering. And you know, I always tell people there's probably no harm in isolating arms. You could probably build big arms off of compound movements. But if you want a little more, for most people, there's very little harm in doing some extra curls. It'll probably only help you. But if you're doing so many extra curls, in some cases it might only be 2 or 3 sets. But if you're doing so many extra curls that you're not recovering workout to workout, you are impeding your overall development. It's time to back those down. But like I said, it could just be your natural weak link because your back has gotten strong for other reasons, in which case it will eventually catch up. It will eventually catch up, and then everything will balance out. All right, next question. Should a novice lifter do pause bench press? Are there any benefits of touch and go? You know what, guys, we could debate this all day long. Some people will argue that the touch and go is better for overall development, more weight moved. It'll give them a little better shoulder and tricep and everything. But here's my point with it. I think novices need to avoid touch and go bench. And the reason I say that, novices aren't in touch with their body and haven't let go of their ego and everything enough, and they're usually trying to compete with everyone else's lifts around them they see in the gym. Touch and go deadlift is a recipe for developing no chest for most novice lifters. Simply put, their ego will get in the way from them performing a correct touch and go bench, and they'll end up doing bouncing. They'll end up getting loose. They'll end up not keeping their scapula together. So most novice benchers are going to build a bigger chest, and they're going to get better development from doing pause bench. I think most of them need to pause bench exclusively purely because of the fact of the ego and the environment around them will cause them to keep adding weight and using sloppy form to lift more weight so that they don't feel embarrassed around other guys. And at least if they're pause benching, everyone knows they're going to be weaker. They see them pause benching and they're going to be like, oh, okay, well, he's doing the harder version or whatever. So they're not going to, people aren't going to notice as much, and they probably won't comment. And if they do comment and say something negative about a guy pause benching to build up, then they're a jackass and a dumbass anyway, so who gives a fuck what they think. But yeah, pause bench for the novice, the way to go. All right, next question. Greetings and salutations. I need to lose a lot of weight. I am considered obese. I am a late novice lifter. I can only work out 3 times a week for 1 hour. My question is, how should I spend my limited workout time, all cardio or a mix of cardio and resistance training? How should I structure my workout and cardio? Thank you. All right, tricky question, brother. What I'm going to say, honestly, is if you're that busy that you literally only have 3 hours a week to spare, 3 hours a week is not a lot of physical activity time. I'm going to recommend that you spend all of it weightlifting. Yes, I know cardio is vastly important. I recommend most people do cardio every day. This is not an option for you. For you, the fastest change in body composition, you're going to have the most calories and the most energy turnover is going to be to do weightlifting for that hour, all 3 times a week. Train purely for weightlifting. Focus upon your body composition, focus on gaining muscle, and that'll burn through calories. Now, whatever else you have going on, busy job or whatever else, you might have a desk job where you work 12-hour shifts. And I get that, and that's why you've only got your 3 days a week of really, really busy life. Find ways to get extra physical activity in. That's what I'm going to recommend. If you're obese, find ways to get it in. Take the stairs instead of the elevator at work. Get up and walk around. Every time you have a break from your desk, when you take a break at work, don't go sit somewhere on your break. Get up and walk during your break. Get water. Go to the bathroom, get fresh air, walk around. Find ways to add physical activity to where you get up and move every opportunity that you get due to your work schedule. Every opportunity that you get, because that extra physical activity will add up. It will affect your weight loss. It will help your obesity. Your actual current exercise time, because you clearly don't have the extra 30 minutes to take a 30-minute walk every day after work or whatever. I mean, I'm assuming you're being honest here with your schedule. If you have the time, get up and find a way to walk 30 minutes a day. If you don't, and you literally only have 3 spare hours a week to train, it needs to be all weight training in your case. And find other ways to get the little 3 minutes, 5 minutes of walking in wherever you can. Anything to get up and move more is going to help you. But for now, because of where you're at with your life situation and needing to lose weight, you're going to get the most caloric burn and shift in body composition by spending that full 3 hours lifting weights. Just no way around it right now with what you have going. So that's what I'm going to advise. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.